On the SAT, this paragraph would be part of a much larger passage, but I'm purposely not giving it to you because we don't need it. This is a line reference question. It's telling us to look at just this one paragraph. So in theory, we should be able to look here using maybe some basic assumptions about what's going on the other paragraphs, but really just look here and focus especially on the answer choices to understand what's going on. So I'll assume you read the passage, but let's go right now to the answer choices and start sorting through them. What do I notice? Well, choice A, the point of the paragraph is to detail subsequent research that further explores an area of study. Well, the only word that really stands out to me there is subsequent, right? Is it something that's coming after something else? That's what subsequent means. It follows something else. Well, they do say that it's a second experiment, so that seems like a good match. The rest of it is super vague. That further explores an area of study, that could mean literally anything. So for some of you, that would bother you and make you think this can't be right because it's not descriptive enough. For me, with experience at the SAT, this is a gold mine. I love vague, weak answers. They might not always be right, but I'm not going to eliminate them just because they're vague. I've got to look at everything else. So let's see what else we've got here. In choice B, the point of the paragraph is to improve upon flawed assumptions from a prior study. Well, this is a very, very negative choice. If you read this paragraph, there is no negativity here. Maybe it's not positive, maybe it's just neutral, but if this was about flaws and in the previous study, we would see that really loud and clear in these lines, and it is definitely not there. This is a second study. It's changing something from the first study, but it's not specifically saying that we had to redo the study because it was bad before. So this is way too strong. Let's look at choice C. Discuss potential areas of bias in the methods used by a researcher. Well, maybe they kind of outline what the methods are as they describe how the study was done, but again, areas of bias seems very, very negative, and I'm not getting that from this passage. I think what they're trying to do here is to kind of think of male and female, and if we're talking about men and women and the differences between them, that somehow that kind of triggers in our mind the idea that things are biased, but that's you doing some thinking. That's not in these lines, and so that has nothing to do with it here. They are making a distinction between how men and women kind of interacted with the study, but it's not something that was biased. It's just a different result. Choice D, explain why researchers are occasionally surprised by their findings. Well, there is a little bit of a trap here. Surprised is a strong word, and we do have at the beginning that they say these are unexpected results, but it's about one study, one unexpected result. It is not about all the researchers, and we cannot make assumptions about all of science just by this one experiment in this one passage. So that's way too broad as well, and that lets us pick the weaker answer. And this is why weak answers are sometimes or usually right, is that they don't offend. They don't go against something in the passage. The stronger, more specific choices usually have problems. There might be things about them that are correct, but we always have to look for those problem words, the strong words, and cross things out that go too far beyond what the passage itself is saying. We're not allowed to bring in our own ideas. The lines have to prove the choices.